Hello and welcome back, and today I have for you a video going over 5 big blowouts that happened in challenge elimination history. I like to name these instances Elimination Domination, and I'm going to be going through these eliminations and then breaking them down kind of like a sports commentator with the yellow pen going over some highlights and everything. And I did this a few times in Tiny Table Talks for the Challenge Double Agents. I thought it would be fun to have it in its own video, test it out, see what everyone thinks about it, and I think we could have a good time. So without further ado, let's jump into the first Elimination Domination, which happened in Total Madness. And in episode 2, this is where we have everyone walking into the purgatory where TJ announces that they're going to be playing this game, and this apparatus is Flip the Switch, where we have these like plastic gas cans, or there were like potting plants or something to that effect, and they are connected to these like giant metal toothpicks or Q-tips. Bettors are gonna have to flip these to get it over on the other platform. The first person to get through all of them wins. Jen was voted in as the house vote. And then we had Jenny being voted in by the tribunal. Jenny, who I feel like is legally a Terminator at this point. And then on the other side, we take a look at Jen, who is hoping for a miracle. Now let's go down to Jen to see what she is feeling heading into this week's elimination.
Hopefully tonight I will get myself a red skull right here.
We can see that she is full of promise, full of hope, and full of delusion. Ashley, what do you have to say about this?
Good luck, honey. Dream on.
I concur. We have Jen versus Jenny, battle of the Jens, and TJ blows that horn. Jenny easily flips over the first one, and she is doing this rather easily as we go over to the audience view of this, and Nelson, or Nelly, Scuba Nelly, as we like to call him, is thinking how we are thinking at home. Really? This isn't even going to be close. This has been going on for a total of probably 3 seconds, and we can see that Jenny is going to thrash Jen in this elimination. But when we look over, whoa, Jen has one flipped over. That's one more than I thought she did when I first originally watched this, and I tried to make a conch, and like everyone's having a great time, excited, jubilance. Maybe Jen can mount a giant comeback. Maybe she can. Nope. Jenny is on her final one, and she is rather impressive as she is just like killing it. And realistically, Jenny would have killed everybody in any elimination this season, let's just be honest, as Jen is still trying to get that second one, and boom, Jenny is the winner. Now, if we can just like pause for a second, we look over at this buzzer. Even the buzzer couldn't handle Jenny's power, as we're gonna rewind this, and then we're gonna go back over it. Everyone take a look at the buzzer, and it just gets demolished like its name was Jen in this elimination. Jenny wins her red skull, and just when Jen, who is now saluting Jenny, just as soon as Jen was saying greetings earthlings, now Jen Lee has to phone home and tell her family that she is leaving the challenge early because she got decimated in an elimination. Now, the next Elimination Domination happened in Battle of the X's 2, where we had Leroy and Naya, who are getting ready to go into the Hall Brawl against Teresa and Wes. And now, if we pause it, this is the confessional before the elimination. Naya is laughing, thinking about how she's gonna tear Teresa apart in this Hall Brawl, and Leroy's eyeing his next victim in this season of Battle of the X's 2. And then we have a shot of Wes thinking of a way, how can he survive? I'm sure he's thinking of like Big Easy in the Hall Brawl and Battle of the Seasons 2012. Everyone is manning their battle stations, and you can see right here, we can take a look into Wes's eyes, and he's still trying to come up with something, some way of strategy. And I feel like he like has his season just like flashing before his eyes before TJ's blowing that horn, and they're gonna be going at each other. They go at each other, and Wes instantly hits the ground, and when he hits the ground, he makes contact with Leroy's shin to the neck, and we can just have this like neck plus shin equals ouch. And will that have ramifications heading in later down the elimination? Leroy tags in Naya, and Teresa is tagged in, and we can pause it here. Look how far in Naya is to Teresa by the time Teresa hits into the hall brawl, she is going to be like playing defense at an oncoming train called Naya, and Naya just thrashes Teresa and easily gets round 1. Now, Wes is feeling the ramifications of hitting Leroy's shin in round 1. He is going to be taking a little bit of a nap time right here in between the rounds. His neck, he tells TJ, is hurting from round 1, but I also think that he's thinking, I don't want to go into round 2 against Leroy. But as more time progresses, he gets up and he feels like he has a different strategy, and so he gets up for round 2. TJ blows that horn and Wes slides like he's playing Little League T-ball. And if that's the case, I feel like everybody, if they were an ump, knows exactly that he is not safe. No. He is going to be out. So Leroy has to just step over him. Wes does his best to try to tag Teresa, but look at this point of collision. This is the next point of collision in round 2. And look how close Naya is to her exit. The bell is right off screen. And they do have a little bit of a scrum, but come on. There is no way that Naya was not going to win this round 2. I mean, this is textbook elimination domination, if I do say so myself. Next up, we're going to be going to a throwback in Season 7, The Gauntlet, where we had Alton versus Laterian in the elimination where they have to climb a pole, and the first one to do it wins. We have Alton here, who is known around the challenge parts as a pro climber. And then coming into this elimination, Laterian mentioned in the confessionals that he has never climbed anything in his life. That is a bold strategy. We're gonna have to see how that works out for him in this elimination. Well, if you clicked on the video, you kind of know how this will end up. We have everybody jumping into the pool, and interesting strategy here from Laterian as he submerges his whole body into the water, getting everything and his appendages all wet, heading into a climb. And then we have Alton here, who keeps his hands above the water. He gets in the water gingerly and tries to keep his hands dry, knowing that's going to be a good strategy to keep everything dry or anything dry, trying to climb up this pole. Johnny Mosley blows that whistle, and Laterian, as we can see when we pause here, not only will his hands be wet, but he's wearing gloves. He has wet gloves. This is a rookie climbing mistake. If I do say so myself, he's having a struggle of a time as Alton looks like he climbs poles in pools for recreational purposes, as he is just shimmying up this pole like it's nothing. And we've seen him climb a cargo net, we've seen him climb the outside of a hotel, and if we pause it right here, I just want to do an appreciation pause for the pythons of Alton. Look at these things. I'm going to try to recreate them over on the side here. He looks like he hasn't aged a day as we see him in All-Stars, and look at this. He is just going to easily climb this pole, release LT's pole, and the only thing that's changed is that Alton has went up the pole and a pole has been released as LT is still at the starting position, and then everyone gets out of the pool. Now this is great sportsmanship here, and this is why these two came back to be on the Challenge All-Stars. Now we couldn't think of elimination domination without thinking of this classic clip of the Bananas backpack where we had CT and Tina coming into the challenge cutthroat as mercenaries, the first mercenaries in the challenge history. We hadn't seen CT up until this point. We haven't seen him since the Duel 2 episode 1 where he tried to kill Adam. Everybody is shocked. We're gonna get some reactions. We could see here Tori, who is in the elimination, is not a fan of this. She's not a fan. She wanted to go up against Teresa. She's not a fan of Tina. And Tyler looks scared crapless. He must have saw the Duel 2 episode 1 and he is not excited. We have CT, who came to Prague with 2 missions, 1 to eat goulash and 2 to destroy bananas, and he's already eaten goulash. And then we have him strapped up to Bananas, who is thinking, I wonder what the in-flight meal is heading back home after this elimination, because he's going to be trying to think of some way to survive against CT. TJ blows that horn, and CT is trying to get to his feet. If we pause it here, CT knows that if he can get to his feet, this is going to be a wrap. And Bananas is going to flail as much as he can, trying to stay on the ground. He's going to try to do whatever it takes to waste as much time as possible. Only 2 seconds have passed, and already CT is at the position that he wanted. Even though Bananas is going to try to make this like large leap, CT is already thinking, this is over. I just need to get now up to the position of my feet. Look at that. He's already up, walking, and then at this point, with only 9 seconds, all hope is pretty much lost for Bananas, but he's gonna try all he can do, and he's gonna try to trip CT, but even if he trips him, the determination in CT's face is what's going to get him to that barrel. Look at these stomps, the stomps of a man who's determined. And we can see here at 15 seconds, we're gonna pause it. What is Bananas doing? Is he grabbing for a Bananas of his own? Is he trying anything at all costs to try to stay in this game? Well, he has said all's fair is love and war and the challenge. So I wouldn't be surprised if Bananas isn't trying to grab a banana of himself. We pause it right here. We can see CT is staring directly at this barrel that holds all of Bananas' hopes and dreams, and he's gonna crush them using Bananas and CT's own body, which is like 6'4", 200 pounds of pure mass and muscle. And we're gonna finish off this elimination domination with balls in from free agents, where we have Laurel versus Jasmine. Now, taking a look at the competitors tonight, Jasmine is sub 100 pounds, as she tells TJ that. She's like 5'1", 5 foot nothing. Laurel is 5'11" and eats nails for breakfast. I mean, this is going to be a tough night for Jasmine. TJ blows that horn on round 1, and we have Laurel easily gets the first point. I'm just going to glance over this one because there was not much strategy to this. TJ blows that horn. Jasmine is trying to figure out a way over, and we can see that Laurel is doing this like mini pushes. She doesn't feel like Jasmine is a huge threat, but she doesn't want to go like 130%. I'm going to rip your head off. And she doesn't want to hurt Jasmine, but she wants to keep her in front of her, so she's going to do these like lightly push technique to try to keep Jasmine away from the barrel. This is when she tries to do the spin move and then gets down to the ground, and I think Jasmine is trying to go through Laurel's legs, maybe thinking that Laurel is too tall and Jasmine can use her shortness to her advantage by going underneath, but Laurel is just not going to let that happen, as Jasmine is so close, yet so far from getting this point. She gets up and is just manhandled by Laurel, and Laurel just takes her over to the boundaries and pushes her out lightly. And now Laurel is in for round 2. She's going to just push and push, and this is where we see a killer, and I mean killer, stiff arm from Laurel. This is like reminiscent of Derrick Henry, not Tori's ex, but the NFL player, as she is going to be like doing this magic trick of you see Jasmine and now you don't, as Laurel lightly pushed the ball in the hole. Now we're on to Jasmine, and Jasmine is going to actually score this round, and she's going to take this like little two-step in the beginning and then just mosey on over to the right, and Laurel's head is somewhere else. Maybe she's thinking once she's done with this, she's going to go back to the house and maybe make out with Jordan back at the house, but her head is somewhere else, as Jasmine is going to easily get around her and just drop the ball in. And at this point, Laurel's looking at the ball and she's like, what happened there? And then the score, this isn't a blowout just yet, as Laurel is 2-1, and really that one is a moral point because Laurel will make sure that Jasmine won't score another point. Now we have Jasmine back on defense. Laurel is going to use this spin move, and it's going to be relatively simple, as we're going to see momentarily, where she's just going to go straight at Jasmine, do a little spin move, and then drop the ball in. Now it is 3-1. Jasmine has to score this next point to stay in the game. However, Jasmine hesitates quite a bit after TJ blows that horn. She's trying to think of a way. She's going to do a one-step trying to do a misdirection, but Laurel right here is going to be a steel curtain. After giving up that one easy point, she's not gonna give up another one. And as we see here, she's gonna try to spin move, she's gonna grab her jersey and just toss her out, and she is just flung out of there. Now Jasmine has to be a Stonewall, but kind of like in Mortal Kombat, once you know like the sweep the leg move, you don't want to fix what's not broken. So Laurel is just going to do a spin move again and then just easily puts the ball in and is deemed the winner. But Jasmine gave a lot of heart in this game, despite it being an elimination domination for Laurel. That is it for this video. What'd you think about these breakdowns? Let me know that in the comment section below. And also, while you're down there, if you would like a part 2, what are some instances of elimination domination that you can think of and that you would want me to break down? Or if there's other moments in challenge history that you would think it would be fun to break down in this way and with some commentary, let me know anything and everything down in the comment section below. Also, while you're down there, hit that like and subscribe button. I'll be back really soon with more challenge content, more content in general. But until then, peace.